Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Sim Settlements 2. In our last episode, we made it to Diamond City. We went ahead and cleared and discovered a couple areas around Diamond City, just to kind of look at the surrounding areas and see what the area has to offer. We discussed the amazing wall. And, you know, once I thought about that, I thought, wow, well, that goes for Bunker Hill, too. Just stroll by and hookshot. Okay, so I think in this episode, what we're going to do is, I've had Dogmeat for quite a while. I've gotten quite a few settlements with him. So I'm going to go ahead and swap him out for Curie. And I'm going to do that before I do Cambridge Polymer Labs, because I want to have Curie with me. And that way, the more places I take her, the longer I have Curie with me, and the more, you know, she can kind of react to my decisions, the quicker I can get her synth body. Okay, so without any further delay, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm back in Diamond City. That's actually really funny. I'm actually back in Sanctuary, and I should have everything ready to go. Looks like, but I tell you one thing I do want to do, and I just thought of this. I am going to get a few more Molotov cocktails. Since we're going to be doing with diseased mole rats, and I only have one cure, I am going to need something to help deal with these little critters. And I think a Molotov will actually be nice. I do have, let's see, I do have some impact grenades. And I only have 3 Molotovs. We're going to do this in the daytime, because I definitely don't want ghoul packs to come into Vault 81. They will wipe everybody out, or at least wipe some people out. Let's see, grenades, I think what we want is a Molotov. Let's get to at least 2 more. And I think we can probably stack up at least 2 more of these. And I think we have enough aspirin and enough bandages. I think we're good with that. Okay, plus we're going to a vault that was a medical facility, or at least a facility where they test medical things. We should be able to come up with some... What is that?
Entering killing mode.
Does this just randomly
Critical damage
put... Oh, our beaver came up. I guess he must have cut all the wood in the surrounding area, or just somehow wandered out of the water. Normally they're not really hostile unless you walk up on them. You know, once you walk up on them, it's pretty much over with. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to do a quick save here. And then
Workshop framework entries detected.
And let's go ahead and we are going to do a fast travel all the way to Vault 81. We'll go in.
Workshop framework
once we get into Vault
detected.
81, we're going to head down to the medical bay, and that should trigger the quest to find a cure for I cannot think of that boy's name. I know it's not Danny. Oh my god. Well, Kyle maybe? I have no idea. We're about ready to find out. We're going to get a cure for him, and then we're going to recover Curie. In some of my previous playthroughs, a couple load orders back, because my load order has really been developing over time, where I'll play it, you know, kind of record the number of crashes I have.
Workshop framework entries detected.
Number of problems, and then I'll reformulate a new idea, you know, kind of maybe rearrange a few plugins and formulate a new idea, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave God Rays on, although it can cause a problem in the Commonwealth. I'll be able to show that better. You know what? Instead of using a bottle, let's find a fountain. There's a fountain here. Here we go. Let's see if we can.
Seeing you again.
I can show that better once I get outside. when I get outside, you'll be able to see how the God rays, because normally the trees, come on in, buddy. Normally the trees cause the biggest flicker, and it's just where God rays are constantly popping on, you know, popping off, popping on, popping off, where I'm not even sure how you would do that, really. Well, let me I don't know, let me rephrase that. There probably would be a way to do it. However, I don't know if it's
Workshop framework entries detected.
I don't know if it's feasible in a you know, in a FPS environment. I just don't know if it's going to be feasible. So as an example, let's say you have a very small opening. You would think, okay, there's a really sharp ray of light piercing down into the, you know, in through the leaves of the tree. Let's go ahead and get this started.
You have to do something, Jake.
The leaves of a tree. So therefore, you would make, if you diffuse the light, based on the size, but it's inverse of the size. So if the size is small and you do a maximum diffusion, then you're barely going to see the light, as opposed to something that would be coming over the top of a building.
Rachel is examining.
So you would have to know the opening
Hopefully she'll
size,
find something. But these aren't
which I'm not sure,
Who knows what
without
kind of
being able to
diseases
check
they are
pixels,
carrying.
how you would do
Because
that.
he's just a child, it's affecting him more severely.
Dr. Forsyth, please. I think I found something that might help Austin.
Bobby,
Hold on,
And
Priscilla.
since it's going by a
What
mesh,
is it,
you'd have to
Bobby?
see the
You know that
opening of
door
the
Austin
mesh. You would
found?
almost need something that can calculate
because
openings and
I
meshes,
keep my
and you would have to
private
categorize
things in
that
there.
opening by a size to
me
determine
get it.
how much you
your
diffuse it.
chance.
So
Get to the
it would
point,
be
Bobby.
very,
What
very
did you
little
find
God
in
rays
that
showing
place?
for a
It's like
small
hole
opening,
that's
and that would
vaulted
prevent a
half
lot
room
of
you can't
crazy
get in.
flicker.
There was this terminal there, so I started poking around in it. There were some notes and stuff about using mole rats to grow viruses.
Austin,
But they
that's
also
his
said that they
name.
used
Yeah,
it to
the little
make
dude over there in the
vaccines
bed.
and Treatments.
A secret vault. Good Lord, I've never heard of such a thing.
The funny thing about classic holstered weapons, everybody's packing firearms. I mean, they pack it right on their side. You wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't think you would, in a vault, I don't think you would necessarily need that. Okay, this is not going to trigger, I guess,
You
unless
there.
I show up.
how would you
Okay.
like to do Vault 81 a favor and possibly save my boy's life?
So, is he better? Absolutely.
I would be glad to help.
I was hoping I could count on you.
Maybe they
Bobby
can
here
fix my
will show you where
Botox
he keeps the
situation
secret
here.
stash. There is a chance that somewhere in there is a cure for Austin. If you find it, bring it to Dr. Forsyth. And for Austin's sake, please hurry.
Follow me.
New mission objective received.
Without that cure, Austin will certainly die.
Yeah, we know. That's kind of foreshadowing.
It's frustrating that all our medical knowledge hasn't been enough to help Austin.
Oh my gosh, everybody looks like they're infected with FEV. I like when the pathing stops. They'll literally stop and you're like, okay, you're not moving. I'm right behind you and you're not moving, which I think is a script lag issue.
Gotta hurry.
See, I'm right here. He's like, you gotta hurry. I'm right here. That's funny. It doesn't even check to see if I'm in the vicinity first. It just automatically assumes not following. Unless, you know, unless I'm gonna write that off as, oh, he's just being encouraging, but you can only write off so much. Okay, here we go. So, let's go ahead and stealth it up. Let's get on our thermal goggles, which I think I'm going to switch to just targeting. Not so much thermal. I think I'm going to go targeting this time. And it's interesting you find, I like the fact that you're down in a lab. Well, you're down in an obscure area of a lab, and you find, let me save this. You're down in an obscure area of a lab, and you find a secret door. You know, it's not a well-known trafficked area. It's down in the maintenance area. You've got a reactor. You have other equipment that you might not necessarily want to be around. And even it looks almost like this stuff is, I don't want to say used, but it's definitely under maintenance. Okay. What's weird about this is there's no way mole rats did this. They're not going to cut through that much steel. That's not going to happen. So I'm not sure what the idea is of a torn out wall. That I'm not sure. Okay, let's go ahead and grab some cooked bug. I don't have any antibiotics with me, so I'm pretty sure if I'm gonna have to do a lot of I'm really gonna save spam in here. So that way I don't wind up, because I do have more enemies, and that means that it might magnify. It might actually magnify. See, the number of enemies I have to face or deal with. See, now what I think would be nice. This is just me from and I understand the lore perspective. I get that you only want one cure. I get that. But instead of a permanent debuff, because I think in most cases, I mean, a person would have to deliberately want to play an evil character not to help a child that is sick, because a negative 10-point debuff is not that, HP negative 10 is not that bad of a debuff, as opposed to it literally costing someone their life. That would be, absolutely a no contest. You give them what they need and you take the 10-point hit. That's not that big of a deal.
Units are in haste.
Ooh, I can see the robot. I wonder if I can hit him from here. No. He's making a move. All right, so we're gonna kind of wait him out here.
Attention, fugitive continuing search.
There's two of them. It spawned another one. I can hear an echo.
Files will continue.
Good golly, man. Drop, buddy. There we go. Wow, that took a hit on that one. Wait, I thought there was two. Sounded like there was two. Okay, let's stim pack up. I thought there was something right around here. Let's go ahead and drink a water. Yeah, I don't have anything to refill. Up, there was two. Okay. I'll take that. Wasn't there? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there was two. Alright. I don't really need the ammo, so I'm not really going to check a lot of the containers here, but it would be nice if I found some lab coats. I don't think I'm going to need them. Sometimes when I actually set up my own settlements, I will look for lab coats and things like that, because let me get a painkiller here. I will look for lab coats because I'll want to equip, let's say, the doctors that I assign to a chemistry, not a chemistry lab so much, but like a pharmacy where they can buy certain drugs or medicine would probably be a better term. I like to give them lab coats, but I think using some settlements too, they're going to have their own lab coats, so I won't have to really do a lot of soul searching here. Okay, let's see. Whoops, that was almost going to break. What in the world, for a novice lock, this seems pretty hard. I kind of think that I kind of believe that Bethesda, when they created a mini game, they made it almost to where even if you're in the right spot, it will occasionally break your pick. Man, that doesn't want to go down, does it? Man, I shouldn't be able to have to hit it that much. Wow, let's see what we got. What is up with that thing? Okay. Yeah, now I'm in pain. Okay, let's go ahead and take, let's drop one of these. So I think they intentionally, to give this illusion of random difficulty, so let's say you are, really good at lock picking. We're gonna wake up our buddy here. I guess we could say, oh, what was that thing? Klaatu Barada Nikto. All right, let's go ahead, which I have no idea what that means. Okay, we know it doesn't have an O in it. Let's take a look at Rain's got one. Let's see if we can. That removed. We're gonna get this guy. We're gonna get this guy active. I kind of hate to say it, but we're going to get him active here. Okay, dead removed. Okay, trans reset. Okay, so we know rain has 1, but there's no E in it. No, there's no... There we go. There's... Okay. So, let's get him... I don't really care about his personality mode. Let's just get him active. And what we're going to use him for is to help deal with these mole rats. Without something like Educated Shooter, I'm not going to be able to squeeze into areas that other NPCs, such as mole rats, could not go. Where they wouldn't be able to get to me. I don't think we need anything here, but we are going to have to wait for Robbie there to hurry up and find us, or at least get to where we're at, which is going to be in here. Now I'm going to switch over to Molotovs. I do want Molotovs. Alright, so we're gonna do a quick assessment here as we wait for Robbie to show up. Let's go in and let's make sure that in our stats, our effects, we're good there. So our effects do not show any mole rat diseases. Come on, Rob. Come on, Roberto, let's go. He likes to move it. He's no longer moving. Come on, little buddy. What is the deal here? Don't make me beg. Get over here. I guess his processor had to process. I guess he has a pretty good swap space and memory to where he's kind of he pauses for a moment and he's like, okay, I've gotta swap things in and out of my hard drive so I can get the next instruction set. Oh, okay. So remember, we're gonna try to get 0 bites here. There's actually a mole rat in there. That one. Okay, that's funny how his teeth were sticking up. And I think we're good. Let's take a look at our stats. We're good. Our effect should show at the top. I think that's Dogmeat there. Okay, up we go. This is where they're gonna spawn. Let's go ahead and... We want to get up out of the way because I'm pretty sure we're going to be attacked from that angle.
Hostile target identified.
I remember before they actually patched the script in the game to where if your companion got bit, it literally gave you the mole rat disease, which was absolutely hilarious. I just can't envision that.
I'm sure this whole thing is overblown and Austin will be running around tomorrow.
Overblown or not, we have to do what we can for Austin. I just don't know what I can do.
Neither do I, Priscilla.
Why him? He's just a boy.
He's going to be just fine. You'll see.
Well, I can understand a mom being really, really upset. I can understand that. You know, she's really concerned because at this point, she's fairly helpless, and she's relying on other people to help her out. Where, if you think about it, if you kind of think about it, when we're born, we do listen to whoever, you know, is our parental figure. We do listen to them, but we also learn to form our own kind of opinions. We learn to listen to ourselves. When we learn how to walk, we look for encouragement from, you know, others. But we through trial and error learn things on our own. We learn that we can trust, like if we're going to step, we learn to trust that our step, that where we step, our legs will be solid, our knees, we understand our knees work a certain way, every balance, all these things work a certain way, which we take all of that cognitive ability for, you know, kind of for granted. Come on in, dog. I do want to close this, so try not to open this door.
Make this about you. Don't you think about anyone other than yourself? Your daughter gets sick like Austin.
Sometimes I do.
And you're whining about
that okay?
spending time with your family?
I have things to do. We don't have to hide away in here.
You're so busy, Halt. You have so much to do. Please, explain to Erin why your needs are more important than her.
It's almost a shame you can't get that isn't a two-way speaker where you could kind of get on there and do something like hold. I know what you did last summer. Okay, we got some stuff coming up here. I do want these cherry cokes. I'm gonna try to pop up on this desk. I think of this desk right here. I don't know how high I can get up. Wait, did he open the door? See, that is the dumbest. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Who does this? Dogs don't open doors. Back up. I don't want no disease. I've just been certified. I've been Vault-Tec certified.
You and your staff are to make sure every resident remains under stringent medical observation.
Understood.
I think when I actually rework my load order, I am going to put. I don't think I got bit. Yeah, I am going to work into my load order where Dogmeat cannot open doors. And I know it's kind of hitting a broken record, but seriously, guys, did you even think about that? Like when you designed this game, did you even think about that? Yeah, this is gonna be. Did we survive? Okay, let's double check here. Gonna be absolutely paranoid about this disease thing. Oh my god, let's see if more pop up. Alright, we'll take the mines. Let's see. Yeah, I like this area right here is interesting because it looks like it's either still under construction. I mean, where'd the floor go? Mole rats. If mole rats would have dug holes like this through the floor, I guess when they designed this, now that I think about it, they couldn't have a solid floor because the mole rats are not going to be able to burrow in and out, and they wanted to have that burrowing kind of a thing. Okay, let's open this, see what we got here. So they had to have some kind of whoa, buddy, where did you come from? Like, why? Like, really, just why? I honestly think that's more enemies, and I think more enemies doesn't care if something is deceased. I truly don't. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna have to get the dog over here. And then we're gonna have to run back this way and hit this button and hope that he doesn't decide to open the door. Wait, did that even work? Can I close this, please? There we go. Oh, come on. Come on. Puppy, let's go see what we can find. Okay, now here, we're going to save this because we're going to have to find a way to get onto something. Can we get on this? Yeah, we cannot. Wunderbar, we cannot get up there. That's just wonderful. Yeah, let's get back over here best we can. I like how he just kind of slid in. Like, who's on first? He slid into first. Oh my god, I'm getting paranoid with these things. So far, so good. I wouldn't be surprised if something doesn't attack me from behind. Like he was just waiting in ambush. I like that. Shows at least a kind of a moderate kind of intelligence. I don't know if it's, you know, I'm gonna have to be comical here. I don't know if they really meant it that way, or they just simply said, oh, you know, we have this system that works, so let's just apply it to a mole rat, and then we'll just write it off as the mole rat is being intelligent. We can add variety using an existing system without really having to stop and think about it. Okay, let's see. I think we're gonna head back here. So we're gonna do the certifiable. We're gonna run all the way back here. Is that it? Somehow, I'm having a hard time believing. Wait, there's something running over there. I just saw it. I'm like, I have a hard time believing that's all the mole rat. Whoop, no, little shrew buddy. Oh. Okay, I wonder if he bit us. Good, we're not bit yet. Let's save it. Okay. Because I think that would be under effects. Yeah, alright. No way on the planet that I'm going to keep looking at that because, Now that's something where I think the mod... That's something where a mod should not really... In this case, I don't think it should spawn things that are not mole rats. You know, if they are not mole rats. Because you can tell it's a shrew, it's not a mole rat. And you could, in a way, write that off as saying, story-wise, you could say, well, these are experimental. So here's what I would do in this instance if it was me. What I would do, you know, if I was the mod author and I actually wrote this and I was testing it, I would look at the base record and I would say, okay, is it a mole rat? Or better yet, I would look at the name, the actual name of the NPC. And say, and I don't know if it'll work or not. I'm not into scripting yet, but that would be the approach I would take. Is I literally would say, what's the base ID? If it's a mole rat base ID, or if the name, if any part of the name equals mole rat, at that point, I would clone it. I would say, okay, I want to clone this. Otherwise, I'm going to put experimental. When I clone it, I'm going to give it whatever the name of the thing was, or basically I'm going to change the name to experimental mole rat, or prototype mole rat. So that way it would give a very, very nice immersive name to mole rats, and literally show them as they are improving or working on the mole rat genetics. Now that's a nice organic barrier back there. If I actually have enough hacking skills, I could hack this on my own, or I could hack this on my own, or I could go to I could go the way I did to acquire the password from... See, these are the lab coats here. I might grab these just in case. Okay. And I'm going to save this here. I did actually in one of my playthroughs have... I'm going to do a hard save here. I did actually have in one of my playthroughs a crash when Curie went to open the door, which was interesting. And I still, for some reason, my brain is visualizing something just running up through here and attacking me while I'm talking to Curie.
Another stranger. Are you Vault-Tec security? I've waited so very patiently for you to arrive.
Now, one of the things that I find very interesting, and I don't know if I've heard anybody mention this or not. Curie said, "Are you Vault-Tec security?" Well, her programming would look at me and say, "I'm not wearing Vault-Tec security clothing. I'm not even wearing a Vault-Tec security uniform." So she must really, really want out of here. So let's see.
Who the heck are you?
I am a contagion vulnerability robotic infirmary.
So you can tell that she's already
CVR,
really wanting out of this room before any of the other writing is done.
Or more properly,
Because she can
they
clearly
call
see
this
that. She didn't even ask for identification.
Are you Vault-Tec security?
These mole rats carry a disease. Do you know anything about it?
My poor little darlings. They were used to grow all manner of new and interesting pathogens. Then Vault citizens would be exposed to these viruses in the
And she's
hopes
been,
that
I
they
guess you
would
could, I guess you
develop
consider
new
the fact she's been
antibodies.
trapped
But
in
they
this
never
room
got
and
the
can't
chance
really
to
see what's
execute
going
their
on
plan.
outside of the
Guy
room.
got out of his
Whether
cage.
she's in another
He was
vault,
smarter
whether there's a
than the
vault
others.
inside of a vault,
Sweet
you know,
guy.
or
He let out
anything.
the others, and those poor scientists never stood a chance. Clyde's been dead for almost 2 centuries now, but his descendants have
So
free
to
run
call
of the
them little
vault.
darlings,
I'm
knowing
hungry.
that they let them out
Where
and
are
murdered
my
everybody in the
manners?
vault, that's
Are you
actually
Vault-Tec
kind of
security?
interesting. That shows lack of any kind of empathy. So she wants out of the vault, and she's going to find ways to manipulate, which it's not so much, you know, on or off, yet, you know, true or false decision gating. There is a gray area involved.
Is this sort of thing customary?
Okay, let's go ahead and do this.
Yes, I am.
Superb! I placed an emergency call so long ago. I was beginning to think something dreadful must have happened. I am pleased to report.
See, I would have thought if I was Vault-Tec security, I would have been able to open the door. So the only other thing you could have done here is had an alternate, like let's say you had gone to Vault-Tec headquarters, you could have gotten a Vault-Tec security card, which then could be used to access areas that you couldn't normally access.
Why can't you just leave?
I require verbal or written authorization. Actually,
So
any
she's still
Vault-Tec
bound by her
employee,
programming.
even you, could authorize me.
Good old
You must be
Asimov's
Vault-Tec, or you
laws.
couldn't possibly be here.
Vault-Tec is gone. No need to follow their rules anymore.
Gone? Truly? My programming doesn't cover this contingency. Please tell me the authority to release me was transferred to you.
These mole rats were lab rats?
Why, yes. I've grown quite fond of them over the years.
See that? Now that's interesting
But they
because
have
again,
been
that shows no
their
empathy.
usefulness
I've
83
grown quite
years ago.
fond of creatures that literally have wiped out not only
I
the people
am
that
so
I've known
authorized. You
and the people
are
that I've
released.
worked with, but then to
I had almost
actually
given up
want to
all hope of
manipulate
being here. I'll
the
open the
player
door for
into
you.
opening the door. Literally, you cannot continue this quest until you open this door.
Since you are a Vault-Tec representative,
Why she's
Yes.
yakking?
I trust you
It
with
sounds
broad
terrible.
spectrum cure
I'm gonna go ahead and
and
grab
venom.
this.
If you have an equivalent to my digital Hippocratic oath, please use it quickly to prevent any undue suffering. However, be advised, there is only 1 dose left, and I can no longer make any more. If that is all, I am most eager to leave.
Okay, here we go.
You only have 1 dose?
That is correct.
See, I
There
would
used
have,
to be
I would
more,
have rather
but they all expired.
add
Sadly,
again some
the
layering
organic
here.
compounds necessary to
I would
make
love
more
to see
have
a
all
Vault-Tec
deteriorated.
security card allow access
Thanks for the cure.
It is
to
my
allow
hope
access
that
to this
this
vault.
cure
And
finds
also,
its way to
it would
someone
be
who
nice
needs
that
it.
randomly,
Hopefully now I can properly further my
not all the
scientific
time, but
research.
randomly,
Since
when
my
you're
job
in this
here is
vault,
done,
if, you know,
I
when
think
you
I will follow
kill,
you out.
you know, when the mole rats are exterminated, when they are exterminated, some of them will randomly spawn. Let's say it's a very, very low chance. They will spawn let's say a sample, a viral sample. I'm trying to think of how it would be put, because technically it would be a tissue sample rather than a virus, you know, rather than an actual virus sample. Because when I think of virus samples, I'm thinking test tubes here. So it could be like a viral sample, and it's random. And then being able to, because she literally says there's no more, she can't make another cure. So if you look at the actual gameplay loop, or the way that, if you look at the story elements, and that includes the player. The player is a story element. You know, they're acting out the story. They've already destroyed the mole rats. The mole rats are gone. Therefore, if, let's say, she has a radar system, says, okay, there's no more mole rats, I don't see no more movement in the vault, therefore I cannot make more serum because there's no more mole rats. But it would have been nice if in the mole rats, whether even if it wasn't random, the player could literally grab a virus sample, a viral sample, and then, you know, once you leave here, that's the last viral sample you would have, and therefore Curie would be able to brew up more than one cure. She could craft more than one cure. So, because if the mole rats have the virus, she should be able to craft a cure from that. She would know what's really involved with it. Without the mole rats, you don't have the original virus, therefore you cannot craft a cure. I would have liked to seen that neat little detail. And I think that's where a lot of gamers really considered it too simplistic. It's too kind of what you would call black and white. There's no gray, there's no other ways to do things. So in other words, if you use the key card, if there is a key card in, let's say, Vault Tech headquarters, you find it before this quest, you use it, therefore she says, oh, I can see your Vault Tech security. And then you could simply reply with something, sure, yes I am, or, you must be mistaken. And then she can say, well, you have the key card to let me in there, or something like, you could say, no, I'm not. And she could say, well, since you opened the door, you are authorized to clear me. And then she could literally ask the same questions over again. But it would have provided a nice little way to give a little extra world building and a little extra tying together of, let's see, we gotta go this way. Tying together of the different locations. Remember, a while back in one of my previous streams, I mentioned how it's really nice that they have these little micro areas, but the micro areas don't always they don't tie together. And I'll tell you something about this here in just a second. Let me turn this off.
The cure. You found
We
it.
do want a light.
How is Austin doing? Do you think he'll survive the cure?
He's been unconscious.
I would have
Since
rather
shortly
him
after you
ask
left.
me about the cure. You're back. Were you able to get the cure? And at that point, then you could actually choose to say, things like this, or, where you could, there's a lie option. That would have been nice. Oh, you're back. Did you find the cure? Then you have the option to lie, and you could say yes, and then you could give it to him. Then you could move into
Here.
this speech
Take the
option.
cure and use it on the boy.
And
Only
then
one dose? I hope this works.
And then you could have asked, do you think he's going to
There won't be
survive it?
anything to
And they
analyze
put
to
these
try
options
again.
in here because they wanted to give the player the option of saying, no, I'm not giving it to this kid that I don't know. Don't really care about this vault. It's kind of it's like a pseudo evil or a pseudo bad playthrough, if you want to call it that. I know it's subjective, but from my point of view, I'm going to consider letting
shouldn't be long.
a child die not a good thing. So it would be an evil playthrough, and
You're
Thank
in
God.
the clinic.
they wanted to give the player the option, but they really
Our
didn't
visitor
tie the
from the
story
Commonwealth
together
saved
to
your
where you
life.
felt that option. It's like, we're going to give you these three options, you pick one, and then
I
you
was
put the
worried to
narrative
death
together
about you,
yourself.
Austin.
Whereas
What
we're
got into
here,
your fool head?
if you
Going
lie
into
to
a place
him,
like
he can call you
said
out on
whatever
it.
happened here.
You could still have the
I
same kind of
just
check to
want
call
Sue's
you
in
out,
there.
or,
Well, if it hadn't
you
been
pass
for
the
our friend
test,
here,
and he's
you
like,
might
well, then
have
there's no
died.
hope for Austin,
I know
and
you
then you
made
come back later, and of
sacrifices.
course the inevitable
I know
happens,
Dr. Pinsky will be
or
grateful. For my part, I'd like to
you give
the
it to
syringe.
him,
I
and
had it
of
for
course he
years and
survives.
never
Now,
really had a
speaking of
use
him
for it.
surviving,
She's
he
not the
popped
only
back
one.
up pretty quick.
whole
I
vault
would
is
have
thankful.
rather have
I'd
seen
like
him
to
stay
give you a
down for
room
3
here in the
days,
vault.
just like with
Place you can
Curie
call
per
your
se.
own. It's in the main hall, on the left as you get off the elevator. Once again, thank you. I hope you enjoy your accommodation.
I would have liked to
I
see him
wanted to
stay
say
down
thank you
for
again
like
for
3
what
days.
you did for Austin.
And
You've
then
opened
what
a
would
lot of
happen
eyes
is
around
when
here.
you come
I
back,
did my own.
if
I
you
had
didn't
no
give him
idea
the
of
cure, of
dangerous
course he
vault
wouldn't
tech
be
that
Mission
there,
objective
and,
completed.
and the vault would
Can't
probably
believe
be.
so many died just behind our walls.
What do you know about vault tech?
That sounds
I'm afraid
suspicious.
not much. I've spent my entire
No.
life being thankful for the vault.
Nobody's going to ask
for the
that kind of
walls that
question.
protected
I
us
get
over
they
2
want to have
centuries.
this inferential
But not
questioning,
once
but
have
nobody's
I
going to
had
say it like
contact
that.
with them.
Because the literally in the tone of your voice. Let's see.
Whatever Vault Tech had planned, it failed, and took their entire staff out with it.
No arguments here. I hate to think of what they had planned for us. But on the good side, you made a real impression on our anti-Commonwealth people. They're realizing outsiders really can be trusted. And do
Some
more
can,
good
yes.
than
I
just
definitely
providing
wouldn't open the
resources.
doors.
You'll always be welcome here. And I hope you make a habit of visiting. Having a trusted outsider would help serve as a reminder that the Commonwealth isn't something to fear and
I would have liked to seen an option to open a trade route here. It would have been nice. It would have been nice if, again, there was a little micro questing. Let's go ahead and grab
A
Curie.
moment, please. I have been trapped so many years. I
It
believe
would have been
it's
nice to have some
customary
micro
to thank
questing
you for
where
your
had I gone to
saving.
Bunker Hill
My entire
before
life
here
has been
and
in
done
this
quests for
vault. I
them,
have analyzed
or
and
had I
everything
did
there
a
is to
personal
know
quest for,
So
let's say,
now
a
I
vendor
must see the
somewhere in the
rest of
Commonwealth, where I could open a trade route. So I know some vendors who would love to bring you supplies.
What are you looking to
That
learn
would
up
have
there?
again tied in. It would have tied together and added really some good world building to these micro locations. So you have your primary quest, which has your primary characters, and then you have these little subtle tie-ins, these little threads, which are really kind of micro threads that are not important in and of themselves, but can
After the
kind
bombs,
of
the
again
Commonwealth is a
tie
little
everything
lacking in the
together.
science department.
But surely there is still men of learning out there. And if nothing
I'm a
else,
lawyer.
let us take
I don't know
Please,
these
madame,
things.
Can you take me with you?
It's no picnic up there. Anything you can do
Boy,
to
this
help
is
us
really
survive?
obviously. I know
But
she
of
wants to go
course.
with me. I am really
I have
dragging
been
this
equipped
out.
with
I'm
everything
really.
If you become
But I get
injured
it.
in
You
your
figure, okay,
journey,
she's
I can
naive,
administer
incredibly
still
naive,
packs.
and you know,
I also
naivety
have
is a
defensive
really good quality.
capabilities, a
There's a
laser.
purity to
But
that.
surely there's
The more
little
somebody
reason to
knows
use
about
them.
something, the more cautious they are, which in many ways is good. And given how bad things can get sometimes, it's very good. But it also means they're more defensive, and it's harder to find and get through to the actual true person
Come along, then.
than if
must
they weren't naive. Okay, I'm gonna send Dogmeat to Sanctuary. Okay, so now we have Curie. We are good. We're gold here. All right, now we are going to get out of the vault and let's head over to Cambridge Polymer Labs. Let me double check here to make sure I'm not packing some weird disease. Okay, let's get over to Cambridge Polymer Labs and let's
If you want a good meal, see Maria at the cafeteria.
let's Curie? Come on. Come on, Curie, this way. So, it's interesting when you think of the romance option for Curie. Just as an example, where you would need to romance her as a synth. In other words,
The Ken's effects are expired.
and organism is not the word I'm looking for, but where she literally is indistinguishable. Her physicality is literally indistinguishable from an actual human being, unless of course you get a synth, you loot or you get a synthetic chip, where you find a synthetic chip on her body.
If you need a doctor, Forsyth and Rachel are down in the medical center. They can patch you up.
No, thank you. I'm good. All right. So, but anyways, back to the romance thing. And you can see in the Commonwealth where different people are romancing different. I hate to say this, but I think I'm going to grab these 10mm shots, where people are romancing different things. And to talk about that for a moment, if you consider the fact that she's still Curie, so she still has her base programming, although her base programming, once she becomes a synth, is now wrapped into a nervous system of a synthetic body, so is now trying to process and understand exactly what this sensory input is, not really understanding what, we're going to do a hard save here, what the sensory input is. But she's so she's technically the same quote individual. The only difference is her outer appearance has changed. Once that changes, she is now romanceable. So, and for a person to want to romance Curie, I know I always pick her. I like her personality. I like Kate's personality. I think that's the only two. I believe those are.
You must take care to
I believe those are the only
reduce
two. Oh, great! We're in a rad storm now. Okay, so let's take some rad X. Okay, because we're gonna need. See, this is the problem. Do you see how the see how you have a complete. And it may be the God ray setting I have, but it goes from having no God rays at all to, and it really should be. It would be better if it was more diffused. And when you have trees like this, it has a lot of meshes it has to go through. You really begin to see. You really begin to see how that can be problematic. The more objects it has to go through, the more problematic it becomes. Alright, so what I need to do is I'm going to find a place where I can kind of hold up is what I want to do. Let's see. Let's look in here. Oh, great. What is this? What is going on here, guys? What was that? I've seen a whole bunch of stuff pop up.
Disappearing at that. Huh?
Whoa, who is shooting? Oh, I just saw her. Okay, enough of this garbage. Whoa. Alright, Curie, you're gonna need some assistance here. She is just standing there. That's interesting. I wonder if somehow her AI is damaged. What the heck is out here?
Entering killing mode.
Alright, what we need to do is we're gonna have to get a we're gonna have to go into a thermal mode here. Okay, we got one out here. Curie, aren't you gonna fight?
May I be of assistance?
Huh? It seems like her AI is working.
I may have detected unusual behavior.
Really? I could use some assistance here. We're gonna flip the God rays off real quick.
Ceasing combat operations.
Entering killing mode.
Still have one more. Although it might not be a. It might.
Only a fucking coward hide.
Maybe I'm not hiding. Maybe you're just not that good at finding. Okay, Radix is getting ready to give out. I'm gonna need some more.
What was that?
No peekaboo for me, buddy. Let's back this up. Oh, I think Curie's actually trying to shoot through a wall. Getting? Not yet. Yep, she got him. Okay, let's see, where is he? I don't see him there. Let's run around back. Okay, so at least your AI is working. I got kind of concerned about that. Don't really care about a varmint rifle. Okay, so let's get to where I'm not taking radiation, which Actually, I don't think I'm taking radiation here, maybe. And let's see if we can make it to Cambridge Polymer Labs. Where is that? It's not hallucinogen. CIT. Alright, let's tackle this. And I'm pretty sure she's going to like places that are of science. We're going to call them of science. But back on the kind of back on the real quick romance option, it's really interesting because if you look at it, it's still her personality. It's still Curie, whether she's in a synth body or whether she's in a robot body. So you like the personality. You like the personality, and you decide, oh God, I really have some serious. Yeah, take a look at that. That is some serious. Oh no. I thought that was some serious rads. All right, we're gonna need a. We're gonna do a Nuka Cherry. It's your personality that you want to romance, so why couldn't you romance her as a machine, in a sense, a Mr. Handy, as opposed to just being a synth? That's kind of interesting. Because if it wasn't for the personality, you would say, well, I don't need a personality in a synth body, I just need a synth body. I'll just, hey, she looks cute, you know, but there's no personality, so there's really nothing to interact with. Wait, where is this person? Oh, there we go. I guess she couldn't see me.
Welcome to the Cambridge Polymer Labs. Employment opportunities await in the field of scientific research. Shall we begin your application now?
Let's see if we can skip it.
Sure.
We're going to try to skip
Let's
the
begin
application
interview.
and see how that
Due
goes.
to increased demands for staff in all fields, we have condensed the employment test accordingly. Question 1. Do you possess previous experience with polymer synthesis?
I theoretically have a degree in theoretical physics.
Sounds like you need me regardless, so let's get down to brass tacks.
Calculating test results. I am pleased to offer you the position of sales coordinator. Expect a loquacious future in haggling for military funding. Would you like the orientation before beginning your work in the labs?
No, let's just move it along.
Due to staffing needs, we can forego the orientation at this time. Please follow me to the research lab so that you may
This way we can kind of make it through the quest as painless as possible.
Or cigarettes you leave in the break room. Please save all questions for after the tour of the facility.
See, again, I'm not sure why she just stopped. I'm right behind her. So in order to get her moving again, I literally had to interact with her. And then somehow that triggers her to go forward. And I think that might be a vanilla issue. Okay, I think I got everything that I need. It's funny that you would have a baking mitt like that in the break room, where it seems like the break
Sales
room
staff are provided with a business suit, the cost of which will be deducted from your first commission. Please take a moment to
would be
dress in
limited
proper work
because
attire
this is
and
a
follow me
place
to the
of
clean room.
business. See, I don't need any of that. I will take that. I'm definitely not putting on a business suit, and you probably won't even notice if I do or don't. Let's see. Let's go. Okay, now here's where I am going to have to get Curie, and I'm going to have to tell Curie.
Welcome to the team.
I'm going to have to tell Curie to go this way, and that way we can get both of us in this.
Over here.
There we go. Otherwise, she won't follow me in here before I get locked into the room. Oh, it almost didn't do it there. Oops, let's get this way. Don't want to get
New mission
irradiated.
objective received.
Consequently, staff will not
Yeah,
be
we can't.
allowed
There's no
to
way to
leave
get
the
out of
labs
here until we
the
complete the
piece of
quest.
lining project has been completed. Please report to the project lead, Dr. Elwood Woolen, for specific research assignments.
All right, let's go ahead and stealth it up.
Contamination sequence.
And let's see what we have. I can already see something or hear something moving in here. Okay. Did that door open? I heard a door open.
We must see what's around.
All right, we're gonna take this. Now, I actually had a really funny thing happen
When they are
to
trying
where
kill each other.
I didn't for some reason have the last region, which was really odd. Hydrochloric acid. I think it's lithium hydroxide we need. Okay, so we're gonna take hydrochloric acid. One of those was not showing up, even though I had them all.
Why not? Maybe like this question instead. Something nearby. Identity unknown.
Wow, she just ran right past Curie. Curie didn't even say, wow, this person's trying to harm you.
Visual contact broken.
Okay. Alright, she's on it. Curie is on the job. Whoa, where'd you come from? Okay, we gotta put some space. Whoa, I began to see bodies everywhere. There's another one. God, that one took me down. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Okay, let's get some. That was close. Oh my God, was that close. Okay, so that definitely put a lot of dudes in here. Let me go ahead and this is going to probably... I'm going to need to do a... I think there's another thing that will allow me to heal my radiation. Because I'm pretty sure if I can find some antibiotics, I will definitely take a rat away. Because I'm pretty sure that's going to lower my immune system. Which means that I will be susceptible to diseases. Okay, there's one sample we found. Normally I don't have a problem with the samples, but just this one time, and it's the only time I've ever seen it happen, I couldn't find all of the samples. There were no more left to pick up. I couldn't find any more samples to put in. I think I was missing gold. I think gold was the sample that for some reason I didn't have. Alright, let's grab this. And we will double check as we go. I'm pretty sure I got everything in here. We'll need to go that way. Because I think there was only one sample in here and there's nothing that fell on the ground. It may have fallen and then fell through the world. Sometimes it can fall through the meshes of the floor. It's not here. I'll take that one. Wait, right there. That's 2 samples we have.
You should wash your hands after that. It can be unsanitary to handle the deceased.
Here's 3 samples we have. That's gold, I think. Maybe I didn't check there. Maybe that was the problem. Alright, let's go ahead and open up. We're gonna go ahead and open up the containment. Okay, it's got one of these letters. Okay, I don't see anything that has an O in it. Bone does. Okay, but that would have 3, so it's not the O. Well, it's not the E and the S. So, is there anything else that has an O in it? Okay, so I don't think it's that one. So something that might end in an E and an S.
Sweet.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna open the security door, and that way we can get to the uranium. I think it's U-235. Okay, and we're gonna have to deal with whatever comes out of there. But what we need to do first is try and get up. We're gonna go upstairs. We're going up this way. Before we deal with that mess, we're gonna go up this way. And I would love to find some antibiotics in this place. I don't really need any of that material. So So we don't have to really super loot this area. I don't want that. I do need mentats. I think I need mentats to make aspirin, so we are going to need that. Let's go ahead and receive a return on our investment. Okay, I'll take that. A telephone. I don't really need a telephone. I'll take that. Mentats are fine. We'll take the mentats. That's good. Let's see. I don't really don't need anything in here, but I do need the sample. So this is a really tight office space. You can tell how this is kind of a secure location just by the very look of it. It looks secure. It doesn't just look like there's not a lot of room in here. It looks secure. I think we have 4 samples now. And let's see. We need to go this way. I keep thinking, oh man, there's going to be aliens. I'm going to see an alien trucking through here. I guess we could try to tie Alien Earth in here somehow. Okay, so we're going to save this. I don't know how many we're going to have. Let's get a full mag here. I don't think we're going to have to mag dump. He's not down yet. Or is he down? Yeah. Yeah, good. We're not going to have to mag dump. Alright, Cryomine. Let's go ahead and disable that. Let's grab this. Isn't there there's one there. We'll need that. And I think that's all of them. Because all we need is, I think, lithium hydroxide. And we're going to need gold. Okay, let's open the door so we can now, we can now get the last element that we need. Which is nice because it's right in the nuclear reactor. So we're definitely going to get ratted up here pretty quick. So we're going to need to use some Rad X. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some... He's just standing there. I think I'm going to make some quantum cherry thinking. I think what I'm going to do is we are going to make a run for this. Because we are going to soak up rads fast. I think I'm going to make... I should have brought some mutant hound. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, not too bad. I should have brought some... there is a... Now that I remember, isn't there a... Yeah, there it is. That hazmat suit. I'm going to grab that. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. I was thinking, okay, there's a hazmat suit in the room. For some reason, I always thought there was a hazmat suit in the room with the ghoul. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we need here. So we're going to put unidentified solution 1, unidentified sample there. Let's go in here. Scan loaded regions. Okay, so we're going to need the green one. So we need the lithium hydroxide and the gallium. Now what we need is gold. Let's do... that's funny. Now, okay, now that's odd. It would say unidentified sample. Because normally you would mark the samples with whatever element they contained. Okay, good. We got the 2 we need. You would mark the containers. So it probably, to me, would have... I think it would have been probably more interesting if they... We'll go ahead and scan this. If they had put the symbol for gold from the periodic table on the container itself to where you could examine it. And then if you couldn't read, we need lithium hydroxide. And if you didn't know what the periodic, element table, the symbol for gold, I keep wanting to call it like an anagram, but the symbol for gold, if you didn't know what that was, the abbreviation for gold, then you would need to scan the ingredients. So I think that would have, again, been a nice little bit of world building to engage the players who knew a little bit about chemistry, who knew a little bit about that, to say, "Oh, I don't have to scan these. I can actually read these. I can look at these. I can open these up in, let's say, my Pip-Boy, and I can inspect, and I can rotate it, and I can see where it might have AG or LI or something like that." And I'm pretty sure that that's what we're looking for. And then therefore you can literally try every single combination just to see if you can find the right one. Okay. Now let's see. Oh, there is this other mod that I thought was really cool. It puts a health pack in it like you would see in I want to say not BioShock, but in Mass Effect, I think. It's a little health station, which I think it turns these into health stations. And it literally lets you use it 4 times. It'll restore your full health and let you use it 4 times until it's completely exhausted.
That Director Elwood has issued mandatory overtime due to uncompleted milestones. Have you completed the research on the pisonucleic lining project?
You don't really even have an option to try to lie here. See, I would have liked to have seen, again, a little...
Wonderful.
Man, my face looks hot. It's gotta be the lighting.
Clean room
I would have
override
loved to have seen an option where
disengaged.
it's a lie. You're literally saying, yes, I have, and then to call you out on that, or to have some little bit of validation, to literally say, do you have it in your possession? May I see it? So, at that point, you could attempt to lie, but why would she believe you have it? Because if you're actually making a piece of power armor, and yes, I know with the inventory you can keep it in your pocket, but if you have a piece of power armor, let me see it. So again, you have a nice little bit of world building that engages the player, where they're like, you know what, I'm going to try this. Oh yeah, she called me out on it, so I am going to have to complete the quest. I can't get out of here until... But again...
This is Director Elwood's office.
Yeah, no, that door, I was thinking there was another door that leads into that area where you have to do the quest, that was closed off, but it wasn't. I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, if the door's open, then, So yeah, I would have done that little piece of world building.
Wonderful news! The nucleostrictive blading project has finally produced a working prototype. I must apologize for the director. He hasn't been himself lately. Must be the office flu. Payroll systems indicate that I have been authorized to provide you with a completion bonus at this time. Here is your bonus, minus taxes and benefits. Unfortunately, due to a lack of current projects, we must lay off redundant staff members at this time. This is not a reflection on your work.
Technically, she should have whatever she takes out of your pocket on her person, so it would be nice to be able to loot that
Mission
back out.
objective completed.
So it would have been nice so that she does take it out. See, again, a little piece of world building, which is so simple, is she's going to give you a payment, which apparently she paid in caps. So she realizes, she must realize currency's different now. So she pays in caps, but then once, it would have been better to get paid in bills rather than caps. So in that particular quest, you got paid in paper money. And then she takes some of the paper money back for, as she called it, expenses or benefits. But then she would have that, she would still have that on her person to where you could literally loot it back off.
Bingo.
And that would make a lot more logical sense than it just magically disappearing. Because that would be a really unimmersive way, just having it vanish into thin air, which would be a really unimmersive way of developing an economy, a perceived economy, to where, yes, I am going to have to quest, I am going to have to do this in order to have currency to spend. And it's very, very simple. It's like very, very simple things that would add that layer of complexity to it. And it wouldn't take that much effort, honestly, to do. Just a little bit of thought, a little bit of extra thought would probably be a better term, would go into that quest or into that process. Okay. There is a... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back and end this stream and get everything completed or set up for it. I need to give it a title, I need to quickly make a thumbnail, which I'm just using the same thumbnail with just different location text on it. And we will pick up from this location. So I think what we might do is we might head that way. There's some raiders I know in this direction. And there's a lot of them, and they are crack shots. So they're going to be a very difficult group. But we will give those a shot. All right. Hope everybody had fun. Love sharing new ideas, and thanks for joining me on this particular Let's Play stream. And I will catch up with everybody on the next one. I hope everybody has an amazing day.